Good morning, my little world. How is everyone today? I hope everybody's having a breakthrough day. I'm out in the garden this morning and I have my praying Buddha with me and I have the angel. And I'm prepared to answer a question today. How can I truly release myself from the things and the people that no longer serve me, peace, nor purpose, while releasing myself from any guilt feelings? Wow, what an amazing question, and here's an amazing answer as well. This is actually a three-part question, and I'm going to start with the end of the question first, guilt. First of all, if you have guilty feelings over anything, you need to release that guilt. You need to feel a reason why something happened and release yourself from that. And say everything happens for a reason. You know, guilt is something that we get in tune with, that we're taught that we should be ashamed of our feelings and our emotions, and many times guilt is so misplaced. You know, many times guilt is actually another feeling. It's anger, it's hostility, it's resentment, it's from being left behind. It's from, having to deal with something from someone else. It's all about seeing yourself in a different way, in a different light. And guilt is so easily released by finding reasons that it happened. Everything happens for a reason. And when you can find that reason why you were left behind, why did your man leave you? Why did your girl leave you? They moved on to something better, but they left you to move on to something better. Why did I steal something? Well, at that point, you had that impulse, and forgiving yourself will release that impulse. Why did I make a big deal, or why did I get upset, or why did I feel road rage? These are all emotions that we have full control of. And by questioning yourself and by answering those questions, and sometimes the answers are as simple as, I'm human. That's the way I've been programmed, that's the way I've been trained, and that's the way I've been taught to be. So the best part about this is that you can reprogram yourself. You can change your emotions. You can think about that. A couple weeks ago, I just had a little road rage incident myself. I'm driving down the road and, minding my own business. I wasn't going fast. I wasn't going slow. And all of a sudden, a bunch of motorcycles came up, and there were a lot of them. So I pull over into another lane of the road. Well, as I do to allow all these motorcycles to go by, the truck that was behind me climbed up on my bumper, started flashing his lights like he was angry at me. Well, I had nowhere to go, I'm just driving down the road, mind my own business, and the motorcycles all passed, and finally when the motorcycles passed, the truck that was so angry at me came by and flipped me the bird, and there was a couple of young guys in the car, and, so I didn't really think much about it. So I get a little further down the road. I stop at the gas station, and lo and behold, that truck is there. And the guy comes out and sees my car and goes, "Why did you pull in front of me? What's wrong with you? Why did you slow down them motorcyclists? Why in the heck did you get in front of me?" And all I could say was, "Hey, sorry you didn't like my driving. I was just, trying to clear the road for them." "Well, I don't care about them. I care about me." And it kind of upset me because I don't like to be angry, So I'm driving down the road and, it would have been easy to keep that road rage feeling and go, well, I'm going to turn that on someone else. But that didn't happen. Instead, I said to myself, well, I'm glad I'm out of that situation. I'm over. The rest of my trip will be nice and smooth. And so sometimes, even when we do things wrong, we just have to accept that, sometimes we're victims of circumstance. Yes, everything happens for a reason, but sometimes you just have to let it go. And just say, it doesn't matter. The rest of my day is going to be perfect. Everything I need is coming to me, and I'm embracing my best life. This is not part of my best life, so I'm going to let it go. So that leads me to the next part. We're going to let go of guilt, but we're going to need to figure out how to release yourself from things that truly no longer serve you. And that's really easy. Sometimes people, they come into our lives and they leave our lives. And sometimes we don't understand, I really love that guy, and, he turned out to be a jerk and whatever. But in the long run, everything happens for a reason. And so when you can find that reasoning behind it, that you are available for a new person in your life, someone who would benefit you, then you can go on. The other thing is, we have to release ourselves from our past. Yes, we're a sum total product of all of our experiences, but releasing ourselves from our past, from our human conditioning, and admitting that we want to be something greater allows that to flow. I pray every day, sometimes for hours. Prayer and meditation are so important to spiritual contact. So many times when I have a worry on my heart, I pray. I ask to be released. And I leave it to Spirit to make that happen. And then I meditate. I meditate on the answer. How do I go past this? How do I move past this? And usually, I'll get an answer in meditation. And most of the time, the best answer is just rise above it. Forgive it, forget it, let it flow away. By constantly thinking about it and bringing it into our hearts, we constantly remind ourselves of those feelings. And if those feelings no longer matter, then why are we worrying about it? The past is the past. There's nothing we can do to change it anyway. So every time I have a feeling where I feel like, things could have been different, or I could have been different, then I have to bring myself back to that question. I have to release that feeling and say, this is for my best life. Please, again, bring me to my best life. And part of my best life is my best feelings, my best opportunities. By opening my heart, by opening my mind, and by saying, I am human and I'm in this human experience, but I want something more. So please bring me to my best life. By using those words, I have been able to remove things from my life, and the third part of this question is allowing. Unless you're really serious about allowing things to move, to flow away, to fall off, we are in a constant evolutionary spiral. And that spiral is kind of like a corkscrew. Sometimes you're on the outside of the corkscrew and you're barely hanging on. And sometimes you're inside that spiral. But also, we have other people along in our journey. So just because they're not moving at the same rate or the same pace as you, doesn't mean that, they're any less than you. And many times on that spiral, when we get up higher, we can look down and see why things happened. So sometimes, just saying, I'm evolving, I'm becoming a new person, I'm bringing in my best life, is the best answer. It's all evolution. That's what we're here for. The last thing I want to say is the embracing of love. Many, many times, people try to manifest without love. And you can't contact the universe. You can't do anything without that heartfelt feeling, that best part of your life coming forward. And that has to be love. You have to love yourself. You have to love each other unconditionally, despite your faults, despite your emotions, despite your feelings, despite anything. You have to say, this is all love. This is all part of my lesson, part of my journey, part of my evolution. You have to say, I love you unconditionally, even when you're angry. And when you can say, I love you unconditionally, then that forgiveness flows, that allowance flows. Then those situations that are no longer serving you are unhooked. They're unchained from your heart, they're released from your mind, and they're allowed to float and flow out to where they need to be. So if you're having problems releasing what no longer serves you, then it's not really a attitude problem, it's a love problem. And when you learn to love yourself and all your experiences, then, truly then, things will flow into your life and flow out of your life for your best life. Love to all today. This is Gemini in the garden with my garden angel and with my cute little praying Buddha. I just love him. And I love all of you. I hope you'll subscribe to this channel. I hope that you'll continue to seek my advice. I love being your advisor. And I hope you all have a great day. Thumbs up, sign up, subscribe, share this with your friends. Love to all.